Hello everyone, welcome to another DVD review. This time I'm going to be reviewing probably one of the best DVDs I've ever had the privilege of watching from a wrestling documentary standpoint. WWE's put out a lot of great ones. This one just really caught my eye because of what it's about. And I will show you the cover. The true story of Wrestlemania. Hopefully y'all can see that. That's Vince. Looks like it was early on in WrestleMania, like probably WrestleMania 3 or somewhere in the 80s. Show you the back. So, I've always been a fan of WrestleMania, whether it's been good or bad. 5-star matches, 1-star matches. There's at least one thing every year that you talk about at WrestleMania. Even if the pay-per-view completely bombs, like, some of them none of them have really bombed, but some of them haven't had that feel to it. So, the stories I heard in this DVD are just remarkable about how Vince banked everything on WrestleMania 1 and how he used celebrities and used entertainers and even used a boxer slash actor and Mr. T in the main event. I always tell people that my favorite WrestleMania is WrestleMania 17, Houston Astrodome, 2001. It had a feel to a mega card with mega talent, and not to mention other other WrestleManias have had that feel. I think WrestleMania 7 was really great. WrestleMania 4 was very awesome just because of the World Wrestling Federation uh, title tournament, which Macho Man won. A lot of people forget WrestleMania 9. Um, it wasn't the most solid pay per view. Like it wasn't like um, how do I want to say it? It wasn't really like big and explosive, but the feel of an outdoor show with the toga party at Caesar's Palace. I liked the theme that year. The theme of WrestleMania 9 was awesome, and not to mention that there was two title changes for the world title that night with Yokozuna beating Bret Hart, and then Hulk Hogan coming out to beat Yokozuna. So it added the element of surprise. A lot of people didn't like that, but that's the way the company wanted to go for it. I also believe that other than WrestleMania 17, the other WrestleMania that sticks out to me for some reason is WrestleMania 21. It just had everything. John Cena versus JBL, Batista versus Triple H, the very first Money in the Bank ladder match, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle, Randy Orton versus The Undertaker, the return of Hulk Hogan, Roddy Piper, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and just so many memorable moments in that WrestleMania. Not to mention I remember even the opening match of WrestleMania 21. Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero, and they were both tag team champions at the time. So, from top to bottom, WrestleMania 21 was also great. Uh, just so many big time moments in WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 17, as I said, it's my favorite pay per view. It had the first ever TLC match, or second TLC match, excuse me, with the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian. Also had The Undertaker versus Triple H. The main event of WrestleMania 17 was The Rock versus Stone Cold when Stone Cold turned on the fans and aligned himself with Mr. McMahon. You know, they also had the gimmick battle royal, which was always my favorite. The Iron Sheik won that. Just another pay per view that was solid, top to bottom. WrestleMania though, just this the word WrestleMania, I just when I hear it in the springtime around March, I get excited. I'm not gonna lie. I there's a few WrestleManias I'd like to forget about. I'm not gonna mention which ones. Uh, you can probably figure out which ones I'm talking about. Um, but Vince needs to be credited with a lot of this. It was Vince's vision, as they say, to do this. Um, a lot of people talk about WrestleMania 3 and Hulk and Andre. Hulk and Andre was the bill, the main event, but as everybody knows, it was matches like the Hart Foundation versus the British Bulldogs, Savage versus Steamboat, Piper versus Adonis that really made that show click. The main event with Hogan body slamming Andre was just icing on the cake. And people don't realize how many great matches were on that card. Now, if you have people are going to ask me what is my favorite WrestleMania match of all time, the most logical answer would be The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 25. Believe it or not, that's not it. My favorite WrestleMania match of all time has to be the Iron Man match between Shawn and Bret Hart. Um, the fact that two guys went out there for an hour and then some and kept the crowd involved was remarkable. They they put on a show, they put on a clinic, they put on a highlight reel of stuff you may never see again. They did the stuff they usually do. They did the stuff that they don't do, and it just clicked. And it's really hard to describe the match because there's so much emotion involved. You know, Bret had carried himself as champion for well over 4 years, on and off, as a great champion. Shawn was chasing his dream and finally accomplished that dream and became the top dog. You know, WrestleMania, God, I mean, I could go on and on about WrestleMania, but this DVD, you really find out the true heart of WrestleMania and what it's about. You find out the true stories and emotions of what WrestleMania is all about. They have some classic matches. I'll even run them down for you here real quick, so you guys understand the mega matches that they put on here. Um, they have Mr. T and Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Randy Macho Man Savage versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. The Ultimate Warrior versus Randy Macho Man Savage. Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. The triple threat ladder match between the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge Christian. McMahon versus McMahon. The Rock versus Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. And John Cena versus Triple H. And that's a mega card right there in itself. Um, if you were to put all those matches on a disc, I mean they're all on a disc, but I'm saying if you were to put those matches on a pay per view, I'd watch it. I'd pay $100 to watch all those matches in a 4 hour time slot. Um, I love this DVD because it has perspectives of past, present, and future, new and old. It's got celebrity perspectives from celebrities that have been on WrestleMania, and if you're a true wrestling fan, like I am, and love the history behind wrestling, This is a great DVD. Put this upside down. Um, WrestleMania, baby. Let me know what you think. Tell me what your favorite WrestleMania match is, or favorite WrestleMania pay-per-view. As I tell you, you could argue for a lot of them. But like I said, the top two that stick in my mind, WrestleMania 17 or WrestleMania 21. So you know what? Go pick this up today. Any major uh, DVD seller, Best Buy, Walmart, you'll find it there. So that's it for me for this DVD review of the true story of WrestleMania. Thank you again, and hope you enjoy.